Hello everyone, Tina here. Welcome to Card Making Fundamentals and welcome to the Buzzworthy Blooms Classroom. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today we are going to create with lesson kit number 3. Card number 3 in the classroom is pretty easy card, and we're not going to use the stamp set, and we're going to just use a few supplies. We're going to need glue for our card project today, and of course we're going to need our tape runner that came in the kit along with our scissors, and I think that's about it. We're also going to need our blooms here. We're going to need one of our daisies. Let's go ahead and take one of our daisies out. And then we're going to use our little bumblebee jewels, which I think are so pretty. Aren't they so pretty? We're going to use one of those, and then we're also going to need one of our sentiment strips. And I kept mine in my envelope pack so I didn't lose them. And then we're going to need a paper trimmer to trim down the sentiment strip. So if you don't have a paper trimmer, again, you can use a ruler or your scissors. But let's jump in and get started with lesson number 3. I'm going to make a little room. I'm going to zoom in a bit. And we're going to start by opening up our lesson kit. On the very back, there is some black and white paper. The last time I used this paper, we had to trim down our card base a little bit, so we might have to do that again. We're going to use our tape runner and adhere this to our card base. And we do have a little bit overhanging. It's not that noticeable. If you guys don't want to trim it, you don't have to. But I'm going to go ahead and use my paper trimmer and trim off that little bit of card base that's overhanging. And we're good to go. Now we're going to take everything out of our embellishment bag. Put these aside. And we're going to need this striped paper and then also our scalloped edge. And then the rest we're going to push over here so we don't lose any of the pieces. We're going to start by adhering. First we're going to use the striped paper and we're going to adhere it to the very bottom of You Are Such a Joy. I'm going to just use the tape runner for this. Adhere this to the very bottom. You might have a little bit overhanging. That's where you want to bring in your scissors and just trim off that excess. Good deal. Now we're going to take our scallop stripe. We're going to use our washi tape for this card too. So let's take a piece of washi tape and add this all the way to the top of our scallop strip. And there is a little white showing. Nice thing about washi tape is you can adjust it, no worries. So that's attached all the way to the top of our scallop strip. Now you can trim it, you can fold it behind, or you can trim off the excess. I'm just going to trim off the excess. And then we're going to use our tape runner and adhere this just above the seam here. And it looks like this strip is a little bit big, a little bit longer. And usually when I have scallop strips, guys, I usually do keep it a little bit longer so we can center this on our paper. And I'm just centering it so the ends look semi-even. You can see here. Any excess overhanging I'll trim off. And it's a little off, but I don't think it's that noticeable. Now after we have this done, we're going to go ahead and take this paper and flip our sentiment panel around, use our tape runner, and we're going to adhere this to our pattern paper. Just evenly spacing it all the way around. And then this one's good to go. I have a piece of fun foam that we're going to actually adhere behind here. So I'm going to use my tape runner and adhere it, the fun foam, behind this panel. And then we'll use glue to attach it to here. Before we do that, I have these two strips of pattern paper. We're going to adhere the lighter one right down the center of our darker strip. And again, we're going to evenly space from top to bottom. And I misjudged that one. Okay, I think that looks good. And then this is going to go about 1 inch up from the bottom. Let's go ahead and adhere this. And I'll have a little overhanging. You know what to do with that. Okay. Let's use our glue and go ahead and attach this to our card base. This is going to give our panel a little bit of time to dry. We'll just flip this around and add this right down the center. Kind of hold it down and let it set. Okay, now we're going to use our paper trimmer and trim off Enjoy Your Day. And again, if you don't have a paper trimmer, no worries. We could just use your scissors for this. And I did it again. I got bottom heavy, so I'm going to put it back in my trimmer and trim off just a little bit more. And I need to grab my phone. Sorry about my phone, guys. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the right side. And then that's ready to go. Enjoy Your Day is good. Now we have all of our little elements here. We're going to take our daisy, and this is going to go popped up with a foam square. We'll add this, remove the release paper, and then this is going to go over here on this corner. Take our leaves, and we need to trim down one of our foam squares into a smaller piece, and we're going to pop up each one of our leaves. Let's remove the release paper here. This is going to go I think there's a good spot. And then this one over here. This one's going to go tucked on this side. Okay, now I included some little glue dots. What you do is remove the acetate piece. We're going to put this behind our button, and then we're going to add the glue dot behind our button. Now, if you like to thread your button with your baker's twine, you could do that, but we're going to do a faux bow. This button's going to go on the center of our flower, and then we're going to tie a bow with our baker's twine. I like to do this more than threading our buttons because I can make my bow straighter. The chances of it flip-flopping around are less likely. Okay. And then we are going to add I have 2 glue dots in here. What did I do with my other glue dot? Did I lose it? I'm pretty sure you guys have 2 glue dots. I'm going to have to get in. Actually, I'm just going to use some glue. I'm going to use glue and add my bow. I'm going to trim the tails of it first. And then I'm going to add my bow. So we have a faux bow. But again, you can use a glue dot for that. I misplaced mine. I'm going to take my sentiment, second part of my sentiment. I'm going to trim off some of the black area on the left. And then we're going to flip it around, and then I have, I'm going to trim one of my foam squares into 3 pieces. Don't use these foam squares. Those are special. Okay, now we're going to add some dimension to our sentiment. And do a little tucking with it. Let's remove the release paper. I might need to trim down this a little bit more. And then this is going to go tucked under the daisy, kind of at a little angle so it's hanging over, but I want you to be able to see, enjoy your day. Maybe underneath the leaves a little bit. Like this. Kind of at a little angle. Okay, now last but not least, we have our cute little bumblebees. Now I stuck these bumblebees down with one of those foam squares. So this is going to probably stay on your fundamental card, but I have extra ones. So this is where your tweezers can come in handy too. Let me find the tweezers. You can take that foam square, pick it up with your tweezers, put it on the body part of your bumblebee, and then you can remove the release paper, and then this way you can adhere it to your card. And if you want to add both of them, you could. We'll add one here, and we'll do the same to our other one. But you don't have to add both. If you want to save one for another card project, you could. I'm going to add the other one this way. Put the plastic back on my tweezers. And then we have one extra foam square there. But a pretty simple card today, but I love the way the bumblebees do add a little bit of weight, so you might have to pay extra, definitely pay extra for postage, but I sure think it's a fun card, and I think it's a good everyday card. So this is card number 3 with the Buzzworthy Blooms Classroom. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next Friday for our final project with the Buzzworthy Blooms Classroom. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Sorry for all the interruptions. Oh my goodness. We will see you again real soon, guys. Bye-bye.